Hey guys, this is Dardomos with Dardomos Dominions, and I'm here with Brother Sickness, the Nava player. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Dartimus?
I'm doing pretty good. This is our first interview, so it's kind of exciting. I was gonna tell you during the break. We've got all those videos, and I've been keeping them in a hidden reserve for the time when I run out of videos. So hopefully, I'll be able to get that Victoria 3 action or Victoria 2 action that we had going pretty soon. So
Yeah, the lumber mills of IKEA. Wait.
yeah. So we'll get but for this game, I've been talking to you, and one of the things is that I can normally depend on you to get some videos going, and so I really wanted to get you in on this on this game. And I mean, when did we start playing together, dude?
I think it was more 2 years ago, probably at this point. I know it was a huge game. I think every player had like 20 or 25 provinces,
That's
and it and,
it,
and, and it was a full MAH game full of players. So I think like all the nations were taken. So it was just a late game slog at the end.
and there was no wraparound. Do you remember that as well?
Yep,
That was
we
a
were stuck in
disaster.
a huge pond.
And one of the things I like is that, from games like that, even though they were disasters, they really taught us what works and what doesn't work. Now, during that time, I was playing as Relay, who seems to be your northern neighbor. Are you overly worried of that?
Well, not in the early game, probably. I'm not sure about middle age relay. Usually, the biggest issue with them is mind blasting. Naba has tools to counter that, namely anti magic. That kind of shuts it down. Also, besides that, you can also spam out Chef. And Naba has excellent Chef in the form of camel riders, who also free spawn birds. So that's a great way to kind of trick the firing algorithm of the mind blasters, perhaps.
Now, with your to your south, you have Abyssia, and we were just talking. We did the the map overview today, and um, Abyssia was saying that they've got a pretty good matchup versus you. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that?
Depends on the blast, but it's very possible he can just steamroll over me. Something like Regen, Blood Bond, Earth and Fire, Shock Resist. I guess he doesn't even need a Fire Resist, so just a Shock Resist. Uh, Basically shuts down any early game spells that I could use against him.
So
Then
to
it's really
transition.
only
Okay, keep going. Finish it.
yeah. Then it's really only Astral, but you can't really get that going super early.
Now, to your west, you have another possible Hellbless with Mictolin, and I'd like to transition that into your Pretender. So, are you? Do you have anything with your Pretender that would that will deal with this possible early game rush?
From Abyssia's or Miklok's side, I'm not sure about Abyssia. I'd have to think about it a bit, but I guess massing archers perhaps could be a thing. I believe Naba has some longbow archers.
I guess
Let's check.
my question to be, to get more in is, are you taking a Pretender that will be able to help you out early? Or are you
No,
going with something else?
I was aiming for an imprisoned blast.
Okay.
So it's a small combat rainbow to help the melee sacreds, and then a big focus on my mage casters. I get some very good mages, most of them who can cloud trapeze, at least the sacreds can. So I was thinking about basically surgical magical strikes against invading armies, but that doesn't really kick in until I get some, important research in.
So which chassis did you end up going with?
Well, the cheapest chassis for Naba was the Divine Glyph.
Whoa.
I usually use the
cool.
Dominion's Pretender calculator, so that program does the math for me. I just input the blast that I'd want.
So you started with the blast that you desired, and then you went back from there and just got the Pretender that worked with that.
Yeah, kind of. I was trying out different things because I wanted to try out Mage Blast. It might mean I'll lose very quickly, but I at least want to give it a go.
Okay, so what is the blast that you went with?
So it is 3 fire, 4 air, 3 water, 4 earth, 5 astra, and then 7 dominion, 2 turmoil, heat 3, growth 3, luck 3, and magic 3. Imprisoned.
Now, what's interesting of this is that we were talking today, and they asked, do you know if he's going heat 3? And I couldn't remember which way or another, but I immediately said, I would assume that, I didn't want to give anything away, but if you didn't go heat 3, that'd be a little ridiculous. Why is it that heat 3 is the way to go? Why didn't you try to go, down here and get even more points?
If you're trying to show the Dominions game in the background, it's still showing up the picture of the map.
Oh, am I? Oh, oops. Okay, give me just a second. I forgot that OBS, oh, wow. Yeah, that's not working. Dominions, how do you... Oh, wait, maybe we can move this to the front. Okay, I might have to play with OBS in the background. Oh, there we go. Okay. Thanks for catching that, dude. We would have had to start the video all over again. So...
Yeah, so basically, Naba starts with heat preference 2. So it makes little sense to take anything besides heat 3. Most of the mages are also heat resistant. They have fire resist. That's what I mean. So I don't know. It's a natural thing to take, especially since there's a lot of fire magic, and fire magic loves high heat.
Excellent. Now
it won't work against Abyssea, of course, but
Yeah, I mean, you've got there's more of the game than just Abyssea, and I definitely the strategy's there. I mean, we were talking to Mictlan as well, and Abyssea has other targets as well. I'm kind of interested in the way that they're going to go, but you didn't go with any production. I guess these guys don't really need it. Are you going to be going with the Jangard?
Yeah, my capital will mostly be on Jangard production for the whole game. For the first turn, I might instead recruit some of the Camel Riders, because the starting army of Naba is actually very tough. They can survive quite a few expansion fights. And after that is basically every second turn you get enough Jangards to send them out. You are somewhat resource capped, but basically every province you take is a camel recruitment center. So it just scales up from there.
I think that, because I did the national expansion with Naba, and doing the national expansion with Naba was really interesting, because I think they came out, what was the nation that came out at the same time as Naba?
The Ind.
You're right. Okay, so Ind came out at the same time, and I really liked Ind initially, and so I kind of put off Naba because they looked terrible. And I went back and I played them. I made that expand, and it was a lot of fun. I really like the Camel Rider expand. Have you been practicing your expand much?
I usually always try it a few times before a game. So you have to balance out the scales. You kind of always want to have just enough scales to have an efficient expansion, and at the same time, have enough for a bless.
And what was your what'd you get in 12 turns? Did you do a 12-turn expand, or did you go? How do you usually practice expand? I guess that's a better question.
I don't really have a system for it. I just try it out a few times until I get the hang of it. To have a feel for how well the units perform against indies. And camel riders are, surprisingly efficient, especially because of their birds. One thing that I still have to test out is if it's better for them to just stay behind and fire their bows. I've been trying fire and fallback command. I forget how it's called.
Oh,
fire
stay
and
at
keep
range?
distance.
Yeah.
It kind of works if they're indies without a shield. They can. It's actually very good because they just slowly move away from those spearmen or whatever and just shoot them, and they slowly die.
What's sad
and if
is
they come into contact.
What's that? Keep going.
Yeah, and they have actually good combat stats, like attack skill 11, defense skill 14. That holds up.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a really good unit, although overpriced. You said it's these birds that you're buying them for, right? Because the falcons are the cool ones that they go up in the air, they land down, they break up formations, and then you bring in some killie troops along with them that clean up. Is that about the same strategy as what you're thinking?
Yeah, they mix in very well with junk guards because they kill very quickly, but like any other elite unit with low protection, they hate getting surrounded. And the Falcons basically prevent that because they mess up any kind of formation on the enemy's side. And they tend to also cause some friendly casualties if the enemy has arrow shooting troops, because they'll just fire in the middle of their own formation.
These are an interesting unit because they're not really high defense and they're not really high protection, but they've got middling of both. What are you going to do with your bless in order to get this rolling?
So the bless I took was attack skill, minor shock resistance, and 3 times precision. Then defense skill. Okay, I'll wait.
No, you're good. Okay, defense skill, and then what's next?
2 times reinvigoration. And then minor magic resistance and Farcaster.
Okay. Now this looks like a pretty heavy, with the exception of the attack skill, it seems, the attack and defense, it seems like a very huge caster, like a caster bless. Which unit are you planning on blessing in order, like what's your goal to spam?
Yeah, so attack and defense skill is so my Gen Guards can actually survive some fights. As you've noticed, they don't really have good stats. Like the only good thing going for them is Glamour. Iron vulnerability also sucks. But like you said, the mage, the bless is for the mages, and the big mage Nabagats is Malikah.
Okay, so this is the one that you're planning on using then, right?
Yeah, them, and for the less priced option, there's also Sahir, which you can get in all forts with a lab, and the Malikah are only capital only.
Now these are all really slow, so you plan on spamming forts or just not having many of them?
I would probably put down labs on wastes, because that allows you to recruit Hermit Sahirs.
Okay.
So for basic evocations and elemental summoning, I'll probably lean on them, and then Malikah, Sahir can put down the big stuff. They have high precision, good reinvigoration, Farcaster, so they'll be very precise. they'll also reinvigorate decently quickly.
What's amazing
all
is...
of them have...
What's that? Keep going.
Yeah, since all of them have Earth, all of them can also cast Summon Earth Power for even more reinvigoration. So they can, like, spell cast for a very, very long time.
Okay, so these guys are not the ones that you want to put, because I saw that there's a potential for a communion in this nation, but it's pretty rare. I mean, 1 in 3 here, and 1 in 5 here. So you're looking at a 20% chance and a 33% chance. So it's not going to be every single unit. Are you planning on doing any big communions for any big spells?
Well, Naba also has the Mukarib commander. That's the first big one.
Okay, there, yeah.
Yeah, they come with Astral already, built in. They are very obviously also a good option for Divine Blessing.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. They're holy as well. Okay, keep going, sorry.
Yeah, and as communion slaves, I could use the big mages, but like Malika don't really need a communion to do their own thing. So I doubt I'll do much with communions unless I need to boost up nature or something.
Yeah, Earth could use a boost as well. Nature could use a boost, and then you could just boost Astral as well. Yeah, I mean, there are some potential, but I think you're right. I think what you're saying is now the idea is that you're going to be spamming something, correct?
Yeah, the idea was using evocations. Naba actually comes with 2 special national only spells, and they are Scorching Wind and Smokeless Flame. Scorching Wind really only works against stuff that isn't fire resistant. So Abysia and potentially Mictlan with a Fire Blast, that'll be ineffective. But then they get a very nice one, Smokeless Flame, which does 45 armor piercing damage.
Oh, jeez. And, it doesn't mean, fire resist is not going to stop 45 damage. It may help, but it's not going to stop it.
That's
so it will
good
go through.
Point. Let's see how high Abysia has their fire resistance. It's 25, so it's good enough against this blast. Yeah, it's a bit problematic.
how many hit points do they have? I'm kind of loath to get rid of. Actually, you know what? We've seen it. Okay, so Abysia, and then we have, what is there, Lava Warriors? So we've got 25 and then 17 hit points. Okay, so 9 plus 17 is 26. Wow, it's just about, they can take a hit on average, but a second one will kill them. But that's it's a sacred, so
yeah,
I think there are worse things.
Like, if it comes to that, it would probably be shock damage that does it.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I was thinking, because you have some air options. You can be doing like Lightning Strike, and what are some of the other things that are down the Evo line for air?
Well, basically, Thunder Strike is the main one. Then there's also Orb Lightning. That one's very good when you're dealing with low HP, no shock resistance troops. It can be good, although it makes your sacreds rather vulnerable. And with our very high precision, Thunder Strikes are actually the superior choice, since they'll almost never miss. Especially if I put down stuff like Wind Guide to boost up precision even more.
That's really cool. Okay, well, I think that I've got a pretty good handle on what you're going to be doing for this game. And so, yeah, good luck to you, dude. I'm really excited about this game. I'm looking forward to what's going in. I'm excited that there's already been there's already been talk of war even before the game has started. And you know, I'm really looking forward to how your expand goes, because Nabah is a very interesting nation to me. And I guess for the last thing is that I want to ask you is why did you pick Nabah? What made you interested in the nation?
Well, I've liked it since it came out in that patch about a year ago. We've also had a Nabah player in one of the big Disciple games we had, and that was very interesting. You know, at one point we started suggesting him that he should start doing like cloud trapezing mage, basically army destroyers. And that worked out very well. If you cloud trapeze like 12, 20 mages, which you can, I won't say easily do, but like after 20, 30 turns, you'll have enough mages and they can just destroy most armies that don't have the necessary resistance, because you can spam fire elementals, air elementals, earth elementals, everything, and then evocations.
I remember doing something in DE. The one DE game I played was very similar paths to this, and it was the same thing. We just cloud trapeze, summoned 30 air elementals, and just watched them have a fun time. So, okay, dude. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this. And say hi to your German shepherds. I can hear them in the background. They sound like they want in on the video too. Okay, dude. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be keeping up with you as the turns go on.
Well then, Darktimos, have a nice time.
You too. Bye.